Hi guys, it's Jamila. Welcome back to my channel, and today I am going to be doing my most surprising reads from 2021. Books that I did not expect to like as much as I did. Alright, so the first book I have on my list is Deathless Divide by Christina Ireland. This is the second book in the Dread Nation. I want to say it's a duology, but this is the second book. So Dread Nation follows Jane McKean, who was born 2 days after the dead began to walk the battlefield of Gettysburg and Chancellorsville. And in this new nation, everything depends on the lives of a few. So there are laws like the Native and Negro Re-Education Act, and this act requires certain children from these specific groups to go and train for combat in these specific schools so that they can pretty much fight white people's wars for them against the dead. And so after they leave these schools, they go into servitude to protect white families from the dead. Really messed up stuff. This actually shocked me. I ended up liking this one more than the first one. I feel like I was kind of like, I enjoyed the first one, but this one I feel like I actually really wanted to get through. So this one took me by surprise for sure. The next book I have is Crown of Coral and Pearl. This book follows Noor mainly, but she is a twin and her twin's name is Zadie, and they live in a village that is on the water, kind of like in the middle of the water. They're not allowed to leave this village except for one person or one woman who is picked pretty much every generation to marry the crown prince of this place called Alara. And so Noor's twin sister Zadie, it's always been clear that she's the one that's probably going to get chosen. If it comes down to the two of them, she would be the one. She is the pretty twin, the perfect twin, because she doesn't have anything that mars her features, while Noor has a scar on her face. So these girls are like literally raised to like be extra careful to make sure they stay in pristine condition for the point where one of them will be chosen to go to Alara and become the crown princess. So Noor ends up going in Zadie's place unexpectedly, and once she gets to Alara, which she's always wanted to see, she realized she's married to a cold, awful prince named Siren, and it's pretty much her trying to survive court life there. But she also meets the crown prince's brother, Talon, and Talon is bae, so there's a little romance formulating or whatever. So that is the story here. I thought this book was so good. It, in a weird way, it was almost cozy. It gave me a little bit of old YA vibes, but having like, I don't know, I just had like a really good time with it. It was very comfortable to read and easy to get through. I liked the little court intrigue and the evil prince trope and all that stuff. It was just a lot of fun, and I also felt like I could picture this world really well. I actually do recommend this. I think that there are some of you out there who will enjoy this book, so check it out if it interests you. So next we have Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. Now I thought this book looked spectacular. Like, look at this cover. I thought it looked amazing, but I did not expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I thought it would either be very hit or miss. It ended up being a hit, and I actually think I do want to read the second book to this when it comes out. I don't think it's out, but yes, this book is blurbed. It's kind of funny. It's blurbed by Arv Kwong, Justina Ireland, S.A. Chakraborty. So those are some people that I enjoy their books. I should have known. This book, it follows three characters, one named Shala, another one named Serapio, and there's like a sun priest as well. I forget her name. It pretty much follows like three characters. They're very interesting characters. I don't really want to give too much away about this book, but it does have to do with like a prophecy that is supposed to be fulfilled. There is this character with these mysterious, well, two characters with these mysterious powers. Serapio is blind, and pretty much he's like needing to be transported to this place for an unknown reason, and Giala is the captain of the ship that is transporting him, and there's some stuff with her. She's kind of known from these people called the Teak, and they are like feared and kind of outcasted because they're different, but she has the power to sing and calm the water around her. But yeah, it's like a whole story. It was actually like very good, and I think I would reread this. If you haven't, you could check it out for more details, but that's all I want to say about this one. So the next book that took me by surprise is Thorn by Intisar Kanani. This book actually ended up being really lovely to read. It just gave me, like, for whatever reason, maybe because it's like a retelling, but it's a Goose Girl retelling, and it just gave me so many cozy vibes, and it was just like, it wasn't the best like top, but it was very enjoyable at the time to read it, and I definitely was interested enough to get the second book. This book follows Princess Alira, and she is called upon to marry a prince from a neighboring kingdom. She comes from a small kingdom, and he's part of like this big rich kingdom, and for whatever reason they want her to marry him. Where she's from, she's kind of like the outcasted princess. Like, nobody really cares for her. Her mom sucks, her brother sucks. Like, so pretty much there's this other girl who's a part of the court in Alira's kingdom, and she does not like Alira. She has it out for her, and they end up switching bodies. So Alira goes into that girl's body, and that girl goes into Alira's body, and she becomes like a kind of like a peasant, so to speak, or just a lower station than what she is now. And she ends up like actually being happy and grateful that this happened to her, because she didn't want to deal with that princess lifestyle anyway. She didn't want to deal with all the responsibility that came with it, and it kind of like ends up being a story of her coming out of that selfish kind of comfort zone and coming into trying to help and protect the people that she started to bond with, you know, being amongst commoners. She started to bond with these people and see what they go through, and there's like this mysterious like magical darkness situation happening that's causing a lot of strife in the villages. So yeah, it's like a story of her like actually realizing, okay, maybe I need to stop chilling in the countryside and kind of help save my people. But yeah, so this book was very entertaining. I really enjoyed it, and I recommend this for a nice cozy chill read. And the last book that caught me by surprise was Slay by Brittany Morris. I was excited for this book a little bit, but I did not, my daughter is like yelling at me. I did not expect to actually love this book. It wasn't necessarily a 5-star, it was more like a 4-star, but it actually was really good. So this book follows Kira Johnson. She's an honors student, and she goes to a school that is vast majority made up of white kids, and it's hard on her. She has to constantly deal with people making her the mascot for all black people and trying to make her answer ridiculous racist questions, and she just really like has to deal with a lot of bullshit. So she's, of course, being the smart and intelligent beauty that she is, she has created this online world. It's online video game that is specifically made for black people. It's supposed to be a refuge and a safe place for her to just go, and for others like her to just go and enjoy and be proud of being black. And it's just like, this very much, even though it's like contemporary, it comes off almost like a fantasy, because the descriptions of the video game and getting to experience like snippets of different players around the world playing this game and how it makes them feel, it just almost comes off as like this fantastical world within our real world. But I just really love that about this book. I loved the plot twists and all that stuff. I just thought it was very fun. I didn't expect it to give what it gave, and I just also love that we're showing representation of a young black girl who knows how to code her own games and who like actually cares enough to create this safe space for her fellow black people. It also talks about like pretty much being able to gatekeep for the right reasons and why that's not racist when you're not a minority and the majority of spaces are not made for you. It just goes into all that, and I just loved it. I really loved it. It's nice and short and sweet, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for something like this. So good. So those are the books that really kind of caught me by surprise. I was like, oh, they might be good, but I don't really know if they really will be, and they actually ended up being like pretty darn good. So yeah, that is that on that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and let me know if there's anything else you want me to make or talk about, or if you see any books back here and you're curious if I've read them. And yeah, tell me to read it if you love it, even though like there's a bunch of the same books. I just realized like back here copies of the same books, so I'm gonna have to change that around. My kid is crying, so bye.